What's up, my friends? Hannah here again from The Body Knows. I just had to drop in really quickly and share a story with you guys because everything that we notice in life, like everything, like whether if it's a TV show we're watching, which is exactly where this came from, funny enough, or whether if it's like something that you see at a coffee shop or at a restaurant, whatever, you know what I mean? Like something that happens around you. And you can't help but suddenly realize, like, oh, there's a deeper layer to this circumstance, this experience. And it's not like a logical thing. It's an emotional thing. Like you feel it in your body. And I have these experiences all the time. It's like I hear the subtext that's being said underneath the actual situation. And I'm really grateful that I have that connection to the invisible quantum world, if you will. But anyway, so I want to tell you guys just a little story about something I just observed. And I'm going to preface it with literally I want to cry right now as I say this to you and it's not because it's like this drastically like emotional story. Honestly, no, it's not. It's a very practical story. But I'm going to trust that whoever finds this message, whoever hears this, they're going to understand what I'm saying and they're going to feel what I'm feeling to some degree, because my body just felt so expanded by this. Oh my gosh, like I cannot even, I'm going to try my best to articulate. So bear with me. Okay, so this lovely couple, the work that they do in their field, it's very heart driven. It's very like soul driven, you know, like they do their work not just to make good money, but also to improve their community, to better the lives of those around them, just because they care. It's just a part of what pulls on their heart. And so everything they do has like an element of like deep intention, you know, really just heartfelt intention. And so they are doing this project, and when they start this project, they have a budget, they have an estimated profit that they're going to make, and they have a timeline. And the risk factor is if this project takes longer than what we anticipate, then it's going to cost us more money and we're going to not make as much money, right? So as they're doing this project, they, you know, naturally they walk into a big unknown, and they just, you know, they put their best foot forward, but they end up ultimately running into a bunch of problems that are completely outside of their control. And one of them was like a situation where someone that was working for them within the project made a silly mistake that ended up being a big deal, you know, and it ended up setting them back on their timeline. And then the fucking weather delayed them and delayed them and delayed them. And as you're watching them work through this project, their profit margin is just shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And it shrank quite a bit. But every step of the way, as hard as it was, as stressful as each step of the process was, they chose with their heart. They didn't cut any corners. They still moved forward with their intention, and they still moved forward with just that heart-driven impulse, right? That says, this is bigger than me. We're doing this right. We're going to do this right. Even if it takes longer, even if we make less money, because we're going to do this right. Ugh. It's so mundane, but oh my God, that's exactly where, like, God, if you will, the divine source, that's exactly where it's speaking to us every day. That was like one of the greatest lessons I accepted in my life, is the mundane is where the magic is. That is where the guidance is. That's where life is literally always guiding us. You keep hearing me getting choked up. My goodness. I just saw 444 as well. Oh my goodness. And I'm looking at a 111 on my TV. Oh my gosh. Okay. So anyway, this is it. So at the end of this project, this is where like my soul just spoke to me through them. Okay, so after all the delays, by the time the project was done, circumstances had changed just a little bit, just enough, right? And that profit that had dwindled so much, essentially like the amount they lost, it was almost doubled that they ended up gaining at the end of the project, because the uncontrollable, invisible circumstances around them shifted within that time frame. And here's the message, my friends. Here's the fucking message. And the medicine, let me say this first, the medicine that's being offered to you right now through this message is trust. Trust in the timing. Oh my God. And you know what's so funny is I think I received this message earlier. I have these little astro dice that I like to roll sometimes just to get a message from my eternal being, my divine connection, right? And I literally pulled the moon in Capricorn in the 11th house, and time was a big thing. And it keeps ringing in my head now. Time. Because Saturn rules Capricorn, and it teaches us through experience, right? It teaches us wisdom through experience, and that happens through the experience of time. And so I literally, and the question that came up with the moon was, what do I need to feel, what would it take for me, or what do I need to feel safe enough to relax and receive? And maybe that's a question that your soul's been asking you, or you've been asking in your unconscious self, is like, what do I need? Like, what do I need to feel safe enough to relax and receive? And the answer coming through, my friends, is fucking trust. And so here's the message, okay? I saw it so clearly. I saw the invisible thread connecting all the pieces of this project together in this whole situation. And literally the delays happened for them. I'm gonna gather myself. It's like, I feel like we say this stuff in the spiritual community all the time. Like, we know this, but like, knowing in your head is one thing, but feeling the truth of it in your body is like a whole different experience. And that's exactly what I'm feeling for the first time in my human life. I am feeling this like heart opening of genuine trust and appreciation. Like, nothing physical has drastically happened in my life. Like, I mean, nothing so far, right? I mean, I'm planting a lot of beautiful seeds, and maybe you are too. But I feel the same emotion that I can guarantee you I would assume I would feel if some big physical, wonderful thing was manifesting in the material world. This is exactly what it would feel like. It would be this moment of, oh my God, it was all on purpose. It was all on purpose. So the message, my friend, I know I keep saying that, but listen, the message is that wherever you're fucking delayed right now, and let me tell you something, I've been living in delays for a long, long time. You're being delayed, and specific things that you're asking for have not quite yet happened. Not because they're not going to, but because there is something in the timing, and it's not necessarily about time, like Tuesday versus Thursday or April versus December. It's not even about that. It's more of the energy. There's something in the energy, because, and this is where the trust comes in, because our invisible selves, okay, as humans, we only have like a sliver of the perceptual awareness of reality, of life, of like perspective of what's available at any given moment in time. And that's why managing your attention and your emotions is actually really important, so you can feel when you're in alignment. And this message came through me because I was in a high place of alignment. I was practicing it, I accessed it, and I was basking in it. Not for anything other than my internal experience, and not from anything other than my internal experience. Confirmation, Bert, baby. Another one. But okay, I was in a high vibe alignment moment when this message, when this whole thing played out, and I saw it so clearly. And that's why I could see it, because my frequency was more receptive and open. Okay. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I can't even remember what I was saying. I keep jumping everywhere. But hey, if you're with me, you're with me. These delays, there's something in the energy. There's something in that you, okay, I know, that you cannot see because you were meant to be focused on this moment right here, right now, and focused on you, okay? Okay? You're only able to know what's right in front of you because you're not alone in this experience. There is, like I said, we only see through a sliver, okay? So that means that you have this infinite energy that is connected into the complete collective consciousness. And that was the other part of my message earlier. There is a collective consciousness. It was the moon in Capricorn in the 11th house. That is the collective consciousness. That is the community. That is the energetic ecosystem that we're all living in, okay, and affecting. And so you have this invisible reference point, okay? This, I call it the eternal self with the bird's eye view. Okay, your higher self, your God self, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You can call it whatever you want. I call mine Nova. I named her. I named it because it helps me focus. You'll probably hear me say that in other episodes if you've been listening to The Body Knows. But this energy, it guides us through the emotions in our bodies and through our thoughts. And through our thoughts. It can offer us thoughts. It can offer us, even in our external world, it can ping us through the emotional, the somatic signals in our bodies to say, hey, this way. And the better you feel, the more aligned you are. Okay? And that's just, I've lived this, okay? I'm not just repeating an Abraham Hicks quote. I'm fucking living it. I've been living it. So, your eternal being, your higher self, if you don't have an open relationship with it, now's the time. This is your invitation. This is your fucking wake-up call. Get connected. Just become aware that you are not all there is. Okay, but I feel like most of you listening to me are connected to that on some level. So your eternal being is aware of details that you cannot possibly be aware of. Otherwise, your fucking nervous system would be over fucking loaded, okay? We can only consume so much information before we wear ourselves down. We experience it all the time when we doom scroll on social media or when we overwork ourselves. It's not so much the physical things that we're doing. It's our nervous system just being overloaded by how much attention and how much energy we're literally outputting and all these things, or even taking in. That still takes energy to process the information you're receiving at all fucking times. And we're receiving so much that we're not even aware of. That is why having a conscious awareness, majority of the time, of your feelings and what's going on in your mind is extraordinarily important, especially if you don't want to be at the mercy of your default mode setting that you came into this world with, especially if you're trying to break out of a way of being and really become who you truly are. Because that's all it is. You're never becoming someone new. You're becoming your true self when you're trying to feel better, when you're trying to feel more abundant, when you're trying to feel more inspired or creative or whatever. You are aligning with your true self, not becoming someone different. It is who you always were. It's just that part of you was kind of buried underneath all the emotional baggage and the emotional tension, which, like I say in every fucking episode, that's why we tap. That's why we tap. And because when we tap, it resolves that emotional tension. Book a fucking session. We'll do it together and I'll show you. I'll show you how powerful it is. I'll show you how powerful you are. You will not be able to help but feel it. Okay? So the point is, the message is right now, and really open your heart and receive this. The message is, your eternal self is aware of details that you cannot possibly be aware of right now when it comes to your timing. That is why you're experiencing delays. Delays are happening on purpose. On purpose. And what you're asking for, that's great. Consider it done. But mind you, what's coming, and I know I sound like every fucking body else in the fucking world telling you good things that you want to hear. I want you to filter this through your fucking discernment, okay? If you're listening to this might be a seed planted for 10 years down the goddamn road. Because that was the case for me a long time ago. But there's some of you, this is something that you will know in your body. You will know because there's a landing place inside of you because of the work you've put in, because of the seeds you've been planting. There's a landing place in your body. It won't feel like hope. It'll feel like fucking, oh my God, yes. I don't know why it feels like a yes, but it's a fucking yes in my body, and I can't put logic to that. Don't put logic to it. Just trust it. Trust it, okay? But there is whatever you're asking for. it is going to come in a way that exceeds your expectations because of the delays. And some of you, just like myself, who have felt delayed, you have had to walk through fire in these delays, and that is why this is happening. This is why it's going to happen the way it's going to. That is why you're going to have this moment when you were like, oh my fucking God, I will never doubt life again. I will never doubt myself again, ever. Because now I understand. I understand that there is a method to the madness that I am not always consciously aware of. And my job is to trust. And my job, if I am struggling to trust, I am resisting something. I'm resisting some kind of expansion. I'm resisting some kind of interchange, some kind of reorganization. And my job is to sit down with myself and lovingly guide myself through that discomfort and tap through it. Or use whatever tool. Like, if tapping's not your thing, that's cool, whatever. Use what works for you. Maybe you just need a deep breathe. Maybe you just need to pull a tarot card. It doesn't matter. Maybe you just need to talk to a positive influence in your life. Whatever the case is, do it. Soothe yourself through any discomfort that you're feeling with this, because that's the initiation, okay? That is the fucking initiation. You would not be going through this fire, walking through this fire, having to fucking face all the shit that you probably didn't want to have to deal with. But you wouldn't have to do it if there was not something divine happening underneath. Okay? You will feel this. You will feel activated by this. I literally fucking shook and sobbed when I received this message, because it cracked my shit wide open. And I was just like, oh my God, I think I trust now. I think I finally arrived to the point where I can trust this process. Like, really? Like, I can really do it now. Because I suddenly understand that every step of it, and I've known this intellectually, but like I said, there's something different about feeling it in your body. That is when it is integrated. That's when it is who you are. When you feel that in your body. And that's exactly why it was so intense. And maybe for you, this might feel intense for you emotionally, because it is becoming a part of who you are. You are realizing, oh my God, holy shit. Okay, this is who I really am. This is who I am now. The old you is fucking gone. Or, they're asleep in the quantum field of infinite possibilities. They are now a sleeping little wave, okay? And this new you is now the fucking particle, all right? If that makes sense to you. But okay, I'm going to end it here. I love you so much, and I am so grateful to my spirit, to the divinity around me. I'm so grateful that I was able to receive that message and pass it along to you, because it's the first thing I knew I needed to do. I needed to tell this to my friends, so that way you can feel this in your bones and you can move forward with more trust and more ease in your heart, and let it be fun. Even when it's hard, let it be fun, because know that you are being transformed. You are being reborn. And literally that's why I named my tapping intensive, I named it Unmasked, because that is what we've been doing. We've been walking around with masks on, hiding our true selves, because we didn't feel safe enough to be in our own skin, to be who we truly are. And when we go through that process, the real us comes out. Like, I don't know how to be anybody else anymore. Like, something shifted recently, and I realized I was wearing a mask, and now I'm like, I don't even know where the mask went. I don't even know. I don't even understand. But hey, I'm here. I've arrived. So anyway, I wish you the best, my friends. Make sure you subscribe if you are vibing with this magic that we're living in right now. All right. I love you guys. Mwah.